Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at GrowFold, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Lowe's off of Preston Road in Frisco, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And also give me a follow on my Instagram at GrowFold if you have any questions about the plants or just want to get in touch with me directly. I would love that engagement as well. So you can see today I am going to this Lowe's location late afternoon right off of work. I did have a pretty long day at work, but I am trying my best to get you that daily 1-hour plant shopping video that everybody seems to be coming to for a live premiere chat as well. So for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. And actually I have had a lot of new viewers and subscribers. And so thank you so much for those that have pressed the subscribe button with all the notification bell on. Some people have asked me again why I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. The reason being is because I originally started this YouTube channel as an origami channel. So origami is the art of folding square papers into different types of shapes. And I used to do origami ASMR videos where I would make origami paper cranes. So this is the reason why I call it plant foldies, because those that were originally subscribed were there for the origami content, but obviously we have evolved and it is now a plant channel where I share my insights, my opinions about plants. We go plant shopping, and so today I am going to be going to the Lowe's in Frisco, Texas. This is one of the Lowe's that I like to go to because it is typically full of plants, and for those that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it would be one of the areas I would recommend. So you already know how I like to start my big box or plant shopping videos. I like to go walk around the outdoor garden section because as much as I love growing plants indoors, I also love growing plants outdoors. I'm actually having a garden, whether it's a herb or vegetable garden or just having a landscape garden. I've been working on a Japanese garden in my backyard for a while. It is slowly getting there. I'm just waiting for some of my trees to really mature in order for me to start putting down some plants that are needing a little bit more shade. But as you can see right here, it is about to be the fall season. And the reason why I say that is whenever fall is around, a couple of plants will pop up seasonally, and that would be chrysanthemums or what you call mums. These are beautiful plants. Actually, in Japan, chrysanthemums are called kiku, and they actually have festivals. So I think that is super interesting. And obviously, crotons. So if we see any crotons today, but I also wanted to show you the beautiful Acer palmatum or Japanese maples that we have right over here. So for $234, you can get a beautiful red Japanese maple. I'm not sure of the cultivar, but I have been eyeing that particular Japanese maple for a while because that size is a really good price, $234. Typically, that would be more in the $500 range. But, you know, whenever you go to big box stores, you typically will find very budget-friendly, cost-effective plant pricing. And, you know, some people have their opinions about whether you should go big box store plant shopping, whether it is really something that would support local or small businesses. But as I always say in every single video of mine, whenever I am at a big box store, is you can choose to go shop where you want to shop. I always say, go ahead and diversify where you buy your plants. So there is a point where you can buy your plants at a big box store. You can find something like this bougainvillea, for instance, and get a cost-effective plant price. Or you can also shop local and small businesses as well. To me, most places are not as full or have as many selections as, say, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where I'm based at. So the only places that you would be able to pick up plants and actually buy them would be at a big box store. So hopefully those that are anti-big box store plants will realize that some people just don't have the selection. And truthfully, some people are not into buying plants online. You know, there is always a risk whether the plant is going to be delivered to your doorstep. But if you are as adventurous as me, I like to buy my plants pretty much at different sources, whether it is a big box store like Lowe's, where they have all these beautiful succulents and cactus, or local and small businesses such as Plants and Planters, Plant Keeper, Peta's Planters in Dallas, and also even overseas. So getting plants from, say, Art Garden Flowers on Instagram, leafcrafter.id, to name a few. So that's what makes plant collecting interesting, is because you can actually have choices on where you're buying plants. And I love being able to walk around and show you beautiful plants like this. For instance, this is a Kalanchoe, and you can see that this one has a very interesting structure. It doesn't even look like a plant. It looks more like a sculpture to me. And just hanging out and showing you all of the different types of foliage. You know, I've gotten a lot of feedback how some people really just want to jump into the screen and walk around and hang out. And I agree. I would love to meet each and every single plant foldie that tunes in and watches my videos. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And, you know, exciting news is I will be going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City this coming Friday, August 29th, August 30th, to just see the beautiful plants. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, like I said again, if you're looking for that exclusive content in a longer format form, because these days, you already know, plant foldies, that people make more of these short format content, whether it's TikTok, Instagram Reels, Shorts on YouTube. But I am more of the old school, where I really like longer formats. I do believe that sometimes people's attention spans are not nearly as long as back when the internet was just starting to actually develop. So that's just kind of what I am at this point in terms of why people ask me, Richie, you make really long videos. Can you shorten the videos? Another thing, I guess I would just get a little bit chatty. So if you don't really want to hear me chit chat and you just want to see the plants, feel free to press the mute button. It is okay, especially for those that are discovering my YouTube channel for the first time. I tend to be chatty. I tend to be repetitive. That's just me. And I've always said this in all of my videos, because I really do feel like people really try to please others, especially on social media. But please be your most authentic self. Embrace who you are. Embrace every single quirk you have. And I already know, for me, I just like to talk. So I appreciate all of the plant foldies that continue to embrace who I am. And hopefully you follow suit and just make sure that you are not out there trying to please people, trying to change who you are. Now over here we have a Hydra Helix. Say it with me, plant foldies. Hydra Helix. All right, now let's go ahead and say it the correct way, and that is Hedera Helix. So the Hedera Helix is a staple on the plant foldie inside jokes. That is an English ivy. That is one of the most challenging plants to ever grow indoors without getting spider mites. So if you've been able to successfully grow an English ivy indoors without without getting spider mites, then please tell us your secrets. Tell us your ways, because we want to be able to keep a Hydra Helix alive. Now for $4.98, we've got a bunch of beautiful chrysanthemums or mums. Fall is around the corner. If you are a Starbucks fan, I am ready for my pumpkin spice latte. And so I'm even more excited though for cooler weather. Fall weather is great. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, actually what you look forward to in the fall. I love the cool weather, the changing of leaf colors, especially on maples. And so I'd like to know your comments in the comment section, and feel free to just comment as much as you want on this video and all of my past and future videos, because I really love engaging with y'all. I pretty much respond to each and every viewer that leaves a comment. But as you can see right here, we still have quite a bit of lantanas available. So lantanas are perennials, at least in my grow zone, which is 8B. So this one is for $5.98. Love lantanas, and the reason being is they are super drought tolerant and they love full sun. So if you have areas in your yard, so for instance, I have a very intense full sun area in the south facing part of my home, and I couldn't really grow anything unless it was like lantanas. So I ended up putting lantanas, and they're doing extremely well. And the fact that they are perennials means I'll be saving money because they come back year after year. The thing about lantanas is before winter comes, you want to trim them all the way back down to the base, and they pretty much just kind of go dormant and they'll come back year after year. Did you know that chrysanthemums also are perennials? So say you grow these beautiful chrysanthemums in the ground, they will come back year after year as well. Now we're going to be looking at some of these products right over here, some plant products. So I've actually seen prop drafts. This is really interesting right over here. This is Market Botany. I have heard some really good reviews for it. And, you know, I've been actually doing a lot of plant propagations. I've taken a lot of cuttings from my Pothos plants, my Syngoniums, and a couple of other plants, and I'm rooting them in water. I may try prop drafts, and then they also have Market Botany leaf shine. So I actually have my own DIY pest preventative leaf shine mix that I call the Foldy Mist, and I will share that recipe for anybody that's interested. But it's one of those things where plant products to care for your plants, whether it's plant fertilizers, leaf shine, pest preventatives, it's really important to have those handy. I also use this. So this is a Miracle-Gro garden feeder. So I have this. It actually sprays a mixture of the Miracle-Gro fertilizer. I actually have been somewhat passionate about fertilizing my plants, specifically my Aglaonema from overseas on my back patio. I fertilize them with an all-purpose Miracle-Gro fertilizer every 2 to 3 days, since it is diluted by the garden feeder. And then you can see right here, Osmocote Plus, really good slow feeding fertilizer that you can mix into your soil, so every watering your plant is getting fed. I also like recommending different types of plant products that you can find at big box stores like Lowe's. Miracle-Gro all-purpose fertilizer is my go-to, but also this product. Plant Foldies, I am super excited to finally show you my unboxing of the bonsai supplies that I received a generous amount from the Bonsai Supply store. This is a company that is based out in Houston, Texas. I have been using the Bonsai Supply soil for many years now. I used to buy it off of Amazon, but you can actually buy this directly from the bonsaisupply.com. And you can see right here, this is their all-purpose, fast-draining soil that you can utilize for your bonsai. And for those that don't know, the bonsai is the art of growing beautiful miniature trees, and it is one that takes so much dedication. It is definitely creating living works of art, and in order to make living works of art, you really have to have premium soil and supplies. And I am just super excited that the Bonsai Supply company sent me this package of all of the supplies that I have used for many years. So you can see right here, I am struggling to unbox this. This is the organic slow release all-purpose fertilizer that is also made and sourced out in the United States. So all of their supplies in terms of just the soils and their fertilizers are sourced out and created in the United States. You can see right here, it is a gentle organic fertilizer, and it is all purpose, so you can utilize it for a lot of your plants. Here's the thing about the Bonsai Supply soil. It is definitely a complete soil. It is one that you can utilize as well for your succulents and cactus. So if you don't necessarily grow bonsai, you can actually utilize their soils because it is fast draining. So it's really good for even your succulents, your cactus, and your sansevieria, any type type of plant that just needs fast draining soil. You can see that the Bonsai Supply has also sent me different types of wire gauges, as well as their other fertilizer right over here. You can see that this one is the non-organic fertilizer. So you have different choices, and all of these products you can find on the bonsaisupply.com or bonsaisupply.com. I do have an affiliate link for that. That is going to be in all of my descriptions for my YouTube videos. And I'm just really excited to be able to finally show you all of the amazing products that I receive from Bonsai Supply. You can see right over here, this one is the black lava rock. So you can utilize these types of soils to amend your soil. So say you need to make your all-purpose soil a little bit more fast draining, you can utilize a lot of these soil amendments for it. So you can see that I've got 3 different types of soils. I am going to be using the all-purpose mixture that they already have on the very left, and I am so thankful that they even sent me other supplies such as this potting mat. And just know, Plant Foldies, that I will utilize in another video a demonstration of using all of their supplies. So I just wanted to show you guys what types of supplies I got from Bonsai Supply. Super excited that I met the owners when I was actually at PlantCon Houston 2025, and I'm just so thankful and honored that they chose me to be one of their affiliates to actually promote and share their products. I mean, you can see right here, we've got some stainless steel scissors, and what I like about the Bonsai Supply supplies that I've received in the past couple of years, aside from just getting this really generous package, is the fact that these soils do work. You can utilize it for a lot of your plants. You don't really have to worry about root rot. It is just fast draining. And I love the fact that all of the ingredients that they use is sourced from the United States. This is made in the USA, and we definitely want to support American products. This is an American company, and I just love the fact that the owners and the company really trusted me to show you all of these soils. So if you are interested in utilizing Bonsai Supply soils, please utilize my promo code for 10% off any of the supplies on your orders. Just use the promo code GROWFOLDS. It's just one word when you check out, and you will receive 10% off your entire order for these supplies. These are high quality supplies. This is some of the best bonsai supplies you can utilize, and this is just great products to use for a lot of your plants in general. So I urge everybody to follow the Bonsai Supply on Instagram and shop today. All right, Plant Foldies, it is the main event, and that is we are going to go big box store plant shopping for indoor houseplants, indoor tropical plants. We're going to see if we can find some budget-friendly, inexpensive, beginner-friendly houseplants. So all the adjectives that are very positive in terms of when you are going shopping. I don't think anybody goes into a place wanting to spend a lot of money. So we're going to see what plants that they have on sale, what are available. And, you know, as far as Lowe's, I would say Lowe's is just really good about keeping their stock current and keeping their stock healthy, and I really appreciate that. This particular one has always been good to me, and even the merchandising has been great. It looks like they did get a new shipment, so we're going to take a look and see what they have. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some of these plants. So usually at a big box store like Lowe's, there will be an end cap with Live Trends Design plants. So you can see we've got a Sansevieria in a stoneware planter, and then look at how beautiful this Scindapsus is. I think this is a Scindapsus exotica in a ceramic hanging planter by let's see, is it Live Trends Design? No, it's actually Urban Jungle. So Urban Jungle has actually sort of evolved in terms of their presentation of their planters. They have more of a modern, sleek look now too. So sometimes I mix up Urban Jungle planters as well as Live Trends Design. The thing about Urban Jungle planters is that they really utilize a lot of terracotta. So you can see right here, this is a Philodendron hederaceum, Brazil. This is a terracotta planter that is glazed. So I really like the inlays of that. And as far as these hanging baskets, this is $24.99. All of the plants I've just picked up are easy care. And I did want to ask the plant foldies, as I've shown you all of these plants in previous videos, like this Ficus elastica burgundy in a mixed media planter, which plants have you actually bought or actually added into your plant collection? Have you actually been motivated to go plant shopping with me or just plant shopping in general? I'd love to know your comments in the comment section. I know that earlier in the video, I talked about diversifying where you buy your plants. So whether you go to Lowe's to go shopping at Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot, or even Target, or local nurseries, I'd really like to know where you guys end up buying your plants, because I really do get a lot of my plants from many different sources. I even go through private sellers, friends that sell plants. So it's just one of those things that I actually want to learn about the community we have on this channel. So leave that in the comment section below. And you can see right here, what I love about Live Trends Design is not only do they have a modern or sleek look to their plants, they innovate by just utilizing other methods of, planters, you know, the media that they use. So it's like even wood. I really like that simplistic look. And you can see right here, I'm going to be nosy and see, this looks like it is another shipment of plants. So we have some Ficus elastica. It looks like we have some type of fern. We have an alocasia right here. So as far as plants, they do get shipments in often. It looks like they're still stocking some of these plants. So you can even see right here, we've got some Live Trend Design plants. These are Sansevieria or bird's nest snake plants. This one right here is another beautiful urban jungle planter. This one is for $13.99 or $13.98, somewhere around that range. It is in a 4-inch planter and it has a catch pot. Beautiful plant. I love the fact that it's terracotta, but there is a glaze already. I do like unglazed terracotta planters. I think they're beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and stock this one right here, right next to this philodendron Birkin, $14.98. Sorry, I got the plant price wrong. $14.98. You would think, plant foldies, that I would have all of these plants memorized as many times as I've gone big box or plant shopping, but it's not always the case. But philodendron Birkin right here. I'm just going to go ahead and continue to walk around and pick up some plants. This one right here is a ZZ Zenzi plant. It's one of those plants that does grow very compact, and it's one that I absolutely love as well. I don't have it, but I've heard that it is very much so a low maintenance plant. And with everybody's busy lives, or at least for me, I have to have plants that I can source and be able to grow in my space without having to be too tied down to plant care. And what I mean by that is, some people may have time to water their plants for hours and hours. I literally take about 10 minutes now to water all of my plants, because I've been able to just put them outdoors in a shaded area, and I am able to take a hose and just water them, and they are good to go. So the fear of overwatering your plants when you're growing them outdoors is lessened, just because of the wind, the air, the circulation, the airflow. It kind of dries up the soil media. But when you're growing plants indoors, you have to go through each one and use a watering can, make sure that you have it properly drained, and there's more to it. And I know that I'm going on a little bit of a tangent as I pick up these Live Trends Design plants, but that's really the reality of it. And I don't think a lot of us will talk about how growing plants can also be taxing, how growing plants or having a lot of plants in a space can be very stressful. You know, the main goal for plants, or at least what I have learned and what I utilize plants for, is for plant relaxation, for mental well-being, physical well-being. But if you are spending so much time taking care of the plants and it's not a feasible or sustainable way, it can be a little bit taxing. It can be a little bit stressful. And I don't want to put this in a negative context, but I always like to garner feedback from the plant foldie community and see if you also get those types of feelings, and how do we mitigate that. And I also wanted to show you this right here. Aside from the deep thought that we just talked about, look at this. It's so interesting to see all of these little these doves sometimes make it into Lowe. So you can see that she's living her best life flying around here. But anyways, going back to that, all I have to say is this. When a plant is having a tough time in your care, do you stress about the plant? Do you worry that that new leaf came out yellow or the leaves are starting to crisp? The way I go about, plants that don't necessarily become successful for me in terms of either they're about to go to plant heaven or they went to plant heaven is giving yourself grace. And I think that is my positive message for anybody that might be struggling with their plant collection is make sure that you allow yourself to mourn the loss of the plant if that's what happened, but don't beat yourself up over it, because at the end of the day, look at this beautiful Syndapsis trubii Moonlight in a new terracotta planter by Costa Farms. This plant may not always work out for all of us. And what I mean by that is sometimes plants just don't make it into our environment. Sometimes life gets in the way. I would even say I have obliterated a lot of my collection earlier this year because I underwatered. I literally just gave up on watering plants because it took so long to do it. And I would see my plants get a little bit more unhealthy day by day, and instead of running in there and trying to take care of them, I just got more discouraged to the point where I turned my back. And that's full transparency right there. I wouldn't necessarily say I am the best plant parent ever, but I also learned from that it's okay to let go of a plant. It's okay to make mistakes, but what do we do when we step away from that mistake? Do we grow from it? Do we evolve from it? Do we become better plant parents? And for me, I just found the solution that I'm going to be able to just take my plants, if I have a lot, take them outside and water them with a hose. Now, what I do in the winter time is going to be a little bit different, but I'm already planning where the space is, how am I going to water them. And I think as I walk around here and just show you all of these beautiful plants and talk your ear off, I'm just curious to see what are your strategies when you're taking plants. So that's just a little tidbit there, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about the plants here. Again, this one is another common plant we would find, Ficus elastica burgundy, $14.98. It's another beautiful plant that I love. This one is an urban jungle planter, and you can tell because it's got the terracotta look, and then you can see there is a full box of African violet. Love, love, love African violets. And you can see right here as I pan around, I'm just gonna walk here and just keep picking up plants, showing you them, and let me know what you think of these plants. And if you've made it this far, plant foldies, you already know that is going to be my message throughout the video is please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And if anything, it's just a huge way to support my efforts to create 1 hour plant content. It does take a while to create this, and hopefully you can at least reward me with the quick push of the like. Now we're going to just continue to pick up some more of these exotic angel plants by Costa Farms right here, and I'll show you their foliage. I'd say that bromeliads are definitely underrated, and I just wish more people would get into it. I am admittedly going to tell you that I used to not like bromeliads. For me, as much as they are beautiful to me, as much as I'd like to put them in my plant collection, I just don't know if I really have the space nor the time to really add another plant like a bromeliad. I have learned that as I go big box or plant shopping for you guys is I can grow plants without actually having to take care of them. And what I mean by that is I could just go to a big box store and admire the plant, pick up the plant, see if it needs any care. If there's any dead leaves, you know, I might peel them off for the plant. And I think that is my way of contributing to growing plants that are not necessarily in my plant collection. I mean, you can see right here, this is a Hydra Helix. Say it with me again, plant foldies. Hydra Helix. That is the Bettina English ivy. And, you know, with English ivies, I really do love the look of them. I know that some of you guys are either tired, some of you guys might have even unsubscribed to my channel because I could be a little bit cringy when it comes to English ivy and some of my repetitive nature. But seriously, when I went outside to feed Charlotte and Catriona, my two little hens that I've been raising in my backyard, I noticed my two English ivy have actually blown up outdoors. And mind you, those English ivies were actually outdoors when it snowed and iced, and for some reason they survived. So they are really resilient plants outdoors, but indoors they become very weak. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you this beautiful begonia red kiss. This one is for $20.98, and this is another prime example of a plant I have been looking at for over a year. Every time I go to a big box store, I'm almost tempted to buy the plant. It's almost like if this was 50% off, there was a time where it was on clearance and it was still pretty healthy, I still didn't pick it up, and it's because I know it's a Rex begonia. And for those that don't know, Rex begonias are a little bit more challenging for somebody like me who is not as consistent at watering plants. Also, plants that do not like to get their foliage wet from the top in terms of their foliage, their petioles, their stems, it's just a little bit more challenging for me. $24.98, we've got a Dracaena Tornado, and this one is super, super cool. I love the fact that this one right here almost looks like a Live Trends design planter. I really thought it was until I saw the label of it. And that's the thing, plant foldies, is you know, a lot of these nurseries have not only churned out different types of plants, you know, Proven Winners Leaf Joy, for instance, they have some unique plants that a lot of other big box store nurseries don't really show, but also just the innovation of the planters. I mean, I really think that that's what's going to separate certain nurseries from others or plant companies is what are you contributing that is going to be different? What is something unique that your plant company or your nursery can provide? I mean, I even look at individual small businesses. Everybody is getting the anthuriums. Everybody's getting the variegated alocasias. Some are already on the bandwagon for aglaonemas, and I love that. But what else can you provide to make people want to buy your plants? And that's something that I feel like is really important, is how do you differentiate yourself from others that do the same similar business, or better yet, even the same type of content. So for me, I would tell you that what makes me a little bit different as far as a plant content creator or YouTuber is, number one, I do long format videos. So oftentimes a lot of the really big plant content creators, and kudos to them, I am in awe. I wish I could have millions of followers, but I am not the type of person that can just make short format content. My brain is not wired for that. And so I think that's what makes my content a little bit different is, number one, it is long format. Number two, I feel like my content is very much casual. I don't have like a storyboard or a script, or much less, I don't really do heavy editing. It's literally point and shoot, voice over with some relaxing original tracks by my friend Jordan, and that is it. Whatever comes to my mind is what you're going to get. And I think the really die-hard super plant foldies and plant foldies really dig that. So you know, somebody had asked me that a while ago, what separates me from other content creators, and I would just say that that's kind of the approach in how I make my videos and how I present it. Now, something else that is unique about my YouTube channel is I will try to plant influence or influence people every single video to buy yourself this plant right here, this Aglaonema Red Siam. This one is one that I really think everybody should get, or even just an Aglaonema. So if you don't like colorful ones, you can get the green varieties. And what I've noticed is with the green varieties, more and more people are getting into them just because of the low maintenance, stress-free, plant care tips that you can just use. Now over here is another Lowe's exclusive. That was a mixed planter of different types of tropicals by Costa Farms. You can see $24.98. It's a little garden right here. I'm not as big of a fan with mixed planters. I'm more of a purist unless it's a bunch of like Pothos cuttings, different Pothos cuttings that you would put in a hanging basket. I'm down for that because it's pretty much the similar plant, but just like doing container plants, it's not really my niche. Some people really like it, but for me, I really like to keep it more of like a purist approach. I love this alocasia right here, but I also love the pink planter that it has. It's also a matte finish. You know, as far as like aesthetics, again, I really like minimalistic, modern, contemporary, very sleek looking planters. I like neutral tones or pinks, very minimal textures, if any, just because I want the plant to be more featured versus the plant competing with the planter, if that makes any sense. Now this one right here, for instance, I really like the elegant shape of the planter, and this Ficus elastica burgundy is absolutely stunning. $24.98 by Live Trends Design. And we're just going to continue to pick up some plants right over here, and I'll just show you the large foliage plants that they have. You can see that this one right here has a sale. There are some Lowe's deals for $34.98. It looks like the Majesty Palms went down from $49.98. It is now on sale for $34.98. Now, the other common large Aglaonema is going to be this Aglaonema Golden Bay. I love it. And you can see right here, beautiful Ficus elastica burgundy. Now, if you give this Ficus elastica burgundy lots of light, even full sun, it will give you a more ruby reddish tone. It really needs that lighting condition to get the best coloration. And plant foldies, what you will always see is quintessential trending tropical plants like this alocasia right here by Costa Farms. And you can see lots and lots of Aglaonema red Siam. So it looks like there are still Lowe's deals. This one is for a limited time only. Normally it's $19.98, but it is reduced or on sale for $14.98. Costa Farms trending tropical plants, the 6-inch self-watering planters. And you can see right here, I'm picking this up because I have to talk about Aglaonema red Siam. I don't know if it's just me, but there is something really special about just the plant. I love the red margins around it. It's easy care. It doesn't get too large, but it actually gets really compact because it pushes out a lot of these little babies. And then you can see right here, this is a beautiful philodendron golden crocodile. I have one that is in desperate need of water. So here's the thing that I discovered about philodendrons. So certain philodendrons, like the philodendron golden crocodile, it wants obviously consistent watering. But did I tell you that these are a little bit more drought tolerant than the average philodendron? There is something about philodendrons like that. They're a little bit more drought tolerant. So to my surprise, it actually works in my favor because I don't really water my plants consistently. And it's something that I've always shared with the plant foldy community over here. $15.98. So we have this Epipremnum aureum or a golden pothos. So that's the scientific name, is Epipremnum aureum. I really love the look of an Epipremnum aureum. It's super easy. And you can see over here, we have an Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic blue. So Epipremnum pinnatum are endemic to my family's home country, which is the Philippines. These basically grow like weeds. And I always am fascinated where we actually collect plants or buy plants for the prices that we pay for in the United States. When if you go overseas, specifically to like a Southeast Asian country like the Philippines, these plants are just growing wildly outdoors. Nobody's potting them up. Nobody's having to soil amend. Nobody's having to put special fertilizers. It's literally Mother Nature taking care of it. So now we're looking at that Aglaonema Golden Bay. I have 4 Aglaonema Golden Bay, and I wouldn't mind having another one. Those are the particular plants that I don't mind having doubles of. So plant foldies, feel free to leave in the comment section which plants you wouldn't mind having doubles of. That is definitely one I wouldn't mind having doubles of. And then you can see right over here, we are looking at some of these planters. So these are the planters I like. I like these modern, very simple aesthetics, really bold shapes. ones that are just very simple. I like simplicity when it comes to my planters, and I like vibrant, large foliage when it comes to the plants that I pick. So usually it would be like Aglaonema, coleus plants, anything that is really colorful, I really like. And so I'm going to spin around here so you can see that as far as Lowe's locations, I would say that unless it is unkept, and I would say the majority of Lowe's locations in the Dallas-Fort Worth area are amazing. And, you know, come to find out, when I was down in Houston area, Conroe, Texas to be exact, they have amazing selections of plants. So if you are looking for a big box store that will be very consistent about their indoor tropical plants, definitely shop at Lowe's. I would recommend it. I mean, because they will always have like trending tropical plants. Costa Farms exotic angel plants. You can see right here, this is a beautiful Fittonia, for instance, and this one is for $5.98. What a beautiful pink margin it has. All of that veining is really nice. And then we also have a variety of different types of Costa Farms exotic angels. This one is for $8.98, and this is the Hydra Helix, or the Florida ivy. So you can see the Florida ivy actually has a sharper point to its leaves. Really cool looking plant, but like I said again, these plants are a bit invasive, so you have to make sure that you do not plant them in an area where they just will take over, because they will take over your yard very quickly. And then over here we have a Dracaena Dorado. This one will actually get large, and it is another plant that is easy care, and one that you don't have to really water consistently. It's a little bit more drought tolerant. And I always say this, in terms of easy care plants, look for the plants that are drought tolerant and low light tolerant. This one right here is not drought tolerant, nor is it low light tolerant. This is actually one that's called a Croton. This is a Croton Mame. I actually like this Croton because it has little twists and turns to it, and it's just a really pretty plant. Palea Pan Am. This is another exotic angel plant by Costa Farms. This one is for $5.98. And Palea plants in general need higher humidity. That means if you need to grow these plants, they are best suited in a higher humidity area, or better yet, a terrarium type setting. And then over here we have a China doll plant for $5.98. And if you haven't seen my video of Plant Keeper, it is one of the hidden jungles nurseries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Please take a look at that. And I urge all of the plant foldies that are watching, or anybody that has just discovered my YouTube channel today, to explore my playlist. I have so many playlists with different content, and even exploring my origami ASMR playlist. Maybe you'll find some relaxation with the ASMR sounds that I make by folding paper, and then just seeing some of my older content. I did want to shout out Super Plant Foldy Eric. I know that I've seen you comment on some of my older videos, even dating back from a year ago. I love it when you guys even engage with some of my older content, because they are in the same format. So what you'll realize these days, though, Plant Foldy, is I'm just a little bit more chatty. Actually, I don't know. I feel like I'm not as chatty, because I remember not even taking any pauses or breaks whenever I would make my voiceovers. Now I'm trying to let you guys listen to some of my soundtracks that my friend Jordan has created. And so with that note, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to pick up some plants as if you were walking around a store and looking at these plants yourself. So enjoy the music as well. Take a look at this beautiful Syngonium. This is a pink Syngonium that I love the look of. It is only for $16.98, and it's one that I would recommend for anybody that wants to grow Syngoniums. That is another beautiful pink plant, and it's one that I feel like anybody would actually benefit from growing, because it is easy care, and it's a fast grower. The only thing about syngoniums is that they are very thirsty plants. So if you're not as consistent of a waterer like me, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It's kind of in between easy care and advanced level care. So you'll just have to really see what that looks like for you long term. And then I'm picking up another dogtail cactus, and I love the look of a dogtail cactus. I think it just has a really nice just texture, and it looks prickly, but it's not. So in terms of that, I just feel like the dogtail cactus is another interesting one for $16.98. And then we're just gonna walk around here and take a look at some more of the plants. So you can see we've got lots and lots of exotic angel plants. We're gonna see if there's any cool exotic angel plants. I mean, obviously there are a lot of cool plants that Costa Farms offers. That's one thing I am thankful for, is that Costa Farms does offer a wide range of different types of plants. It is one that made it very possible for a lot of us, I guess. I would assume, because a lot of people do comment that they do big box store plant shopping. So for me, it is just all about making sure that these plants are readily available. I mean, you will always see a pink angel Fittonia, for instance. This one is for $8.98. Well, look what we have here. We've got some beautiful Manjula Pothos, and these are for $8.98 in 5-inch planters. And here's the thing, Manjula Pothos are still considered uncommon Pothos plants, even though Pothos plants are very easy to propagate. It's kind of like the Japanese Pothos, if you've ever heard of the Toruno Pothos, where they are super expensive even for a cutting. But as far as like Manjula Pothos, I've actually got several hanging baskets from Costa Farms. I have four hanging baskets of Manjula Pothos. One that I won at PlantCon 2025 in Orlando. Thank you again to the Costa Farms team for gifting me or having me win the mother plant of one of their Manjula Pothos. I think that is super cool, and all of my Manjula Pothos are actually growing outdoors. Here's the thing, the plant price for Manjula Pothos at, say, other places, I've seen these plants go for like $20 for a 5-inch planter like this, but that's the reason why sometimes big box store plant shopping is the more cost-effective or budget-friendly route, because you can get these Manjula Pothos for only $8.98. And look at how beautiful the variegation is. What I love about the Manjula Pothos as well is the fact that it does have more of a larger round heart-shaped leaf as compared to some of the other Pothos varieties. Pothos plants in general, I am back at my Pothos era. It is one that I definitely would recommend for anybody that is wanting to grow indoor tropical plants. If you haven't already and you're able to get a Manjula Pothos, I would go to Lowe's, I would go to Home Depot, I would go anywhere that they are offering that price, because $8.98 is a phenomenal price. That is where you are going to save your money and really manage your finances for a plant hobby, as well as just in general. I mean, I just feel like if you're going to look for plants, you want the best pricing. Yes, we do want to support local and small businesses. Yes, we do want to support anywhere that does have plants, but you have to compare and contrast. I would even say that while, say, we find like Manjula Pothos for that price, you may be able to find even a local small business that may be able to offer that. I've seen plant markets, pop-ups where there are sellers that sell plants for a very low cost. So it's the running theme, I will say, in all of my videos, and that's literally just make sure you are diversifying where you buy your plants, because you never know, you might be able to find something like this beautiful flame violet for a lot cheaper than maybe $20.98 at a big box store. So it just really depends. But I'm going to continue to walk around and pick up some plants. This is a beautiful planter here. Look at that. Now, I would prefer this planter to actually be more of a matte finish versus a shiny glaze, but needless to say, it's a beautiful arrangement. not necessarily a fan of all of the plants clumped up together like that. I would be more of a purist as well, unless it is with like different types of pothos varieties in one hanging basket. That's really the only times I would actually like mix plants, but I like that. And speaking of which, syngoniums. Syngoniums are my first love. I've said that before, but the reason why I like syngoniums is that they are a fast-growing plant, and there is something to be said about fast-growing plants. The more vigorous the plants are, the faster new growth, the more propagations you can possibly make from them, and it's just really cool. So whenever I look at like rare, and it's just interesting, the concept of rare for plants is really how you obtain it. It's basically the plant hasn't been propagated or put into tissue culture, so it's considered rare. But once a plant like a syngonium starts to grow, like I have a bunch of syngonium albos growing outdoors, they're vining and they're just easy to propagate. They become less and less rare because I don't know, I just wouldn't pay that big of a price for a syngonium, nor would I pay a big price for a pothos plant. And what I'm getting at is plant foldies. What are plants that you have seen go for really expensive plant pricing that you could wait or you wouldn't pay that price because you know it's easy to propagate? Like if you were to get a cutting or two, you'd be able to multiply it very quickly. Please leave that in the comment section below. I would really appreciate it. Just because I like those insights. I really like to know y'all's thought process and what you guys do with your plants. I feel like these big box or plant shopping videos is definitely a more direct way to have an open conversation. And if you are on the live chat, or if you're watching this during a live premiere, please do not hesitate to jump on the live chat and say hello. I would love for more plant foldies to participate in that. Granted, I haven't been as consistent about doing daily premieres. Just life has just been really busy, and I've just been really tired as well. Sometimes I could push myself to do a voiceover, but sometimes I just want to sit around and do nothing, and I don't feel too bad about that. I don't know. Now, plant foldies, I do feel bad that I did not buy that Epiprenum pinnatum Cebu Blue because it is beautiful. Same thing with this Alocasia. If you were to touch this particular Alocasia, it has a very leathery, rubbery finish to it, and I am a huge fan of it as well. So, I don't know. I like the look of it. I think it's pretty cool, and it's one that I would definitely recommend. If you were to pick an Alocasia, this is only for $19.98, but it is on sale right now for $14.98. So what trending tropical plants do you guys like seeing whenever I do big box or plant shopping? Because I can tell you what plants I like to see in stock whenever I go big box or plant shopping, and that would be this Xanthosoma, for instance, but more so Aglaonema. So if I'm ever able to find the colorful Aglaonema that Costa Farms can offer, I am all about it. It's to the point where I don't mind buying multiples of the same Aglaonema. Now you can see right here, this is a beautiful Peperomia serpens. Really nice plant. I just feel like it's delicate. Like I feel like the branches or the vines would break easily. It is also an easy to propagate plant as well. And we're just gonna spin around here and take a look at some more of these plants. And speaking of aglaonema, looks like we did find some aglaonema. Look at this gorgeous aglaonema right here. Some people will call this aglaonema snow dream. This one has a little bit more green on it. Love the look of it. And if you look very closely at the veining, it'll have like a peach tone. It has white stems, originally $19.98, but right now Lowe's has them on sale for $14.98. So you can save some money on these Costa Farms colorful aglaonema. It is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant. I have about 4 of these already, but I wouldn't mind adding a 5th one. That's the thing about aglaonemas. I think that they are so underrated. I feel like a lot of times plants become a trending plant because somebody has put a very high price tag on them, or somebody on social media is really trending them. So I'm trying to do both. If you really look at some of the aglaonema from overseas, specifically Indonesia and Thailand, they have aglaonema that cost about $500, and they're the rare ones, and some people will actually buy it, not necessarily because they like aglaonema, it's because of the price tag. And I feel like sometimes that is the case when it comes to plants. It's kind of like if you put a market value for it and it is a high value, then people become interested in it. I can kind of equate it, and I'm going to go on a little tangent, so please forgive me, plant foldies, but I will go on a tangent about people collecting Pokemon cards. If Pokemon cards was, at one point not valuable, as in, maybe a booster pack didn't have like a rare card that would cost, a lot of money, I don't think people would be scrambling around trying to buy Pokemon cards. I would say the plant community or the plant market doesn't necessarily have a huge reseller market like that. I do think that some people will find premium plants in the hopes of reselling and making a quick dollar for it. But to me, that kind of gatekeeps people from being able to access the plant. So like as I pick up these aglaonema, I'm just glad that Costa Farms has at least been able to get many different varieties of aglaonema. I have told Costa Farms and given them feedback before, and I will continue to say this. I hope Costa Farms will be the leading nursery to really push for many varieties of aglaonema. I think the more you see them, the more people might be intrigued or interested. So again, plant foldies, if you have aglaonema or make comments about aglaonema, use the hashtag popularize aglaonema. Tag me on your post as well. I'll also share it if you are on Instagram. And then we're just going to go ahead and kind of round out this video by just picking up a couple more of these plants. This is an Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic Blue, originally a trending tropical plant for $19.98. $15.98 is what it is at today. I love the fact that that particular Epipremnum pinnatum doesn't need to climb up a pole to have the fenestrated or splits on the leaves. And then we're just going to spin around here. So fall is around the corner. Halloween is around the corner. Can you believe that we're almost at the end of August, heading into September, and then all of a sudden we have Halloween festives going. So you can see that Live Trends Design has some cool Halloween theme type planters. That's one thing I will also say about Live Trends Design is they really do innovate and actually keep things in the seasonally relevant. So you can see right here, we've got a beautiful air plant with a pumpkin person, and then you can see all of these different Halloween type theme planters for these air plants. I really think that's super cool. So if you are wanting to stay seasonally relevant or decorate your place to meet the fit the season, you can always take the air plants out of these planters and move them to another season. So I like that as well. I think that it's clever. I think that Live Trends Design plants, just their design in general, is amazing. And I honestly would love to be able to work and promote Live Trends Design. I would love to just give some more conceptual ideas. I would love Live Trends Design to not only invest in like air plants and all of the other plants. I'm going to be biased and say I wish they would find like some cool, colorful aglaonema we've never seen and do something with a really cool planter. But you can see this is a cute kitty cat as well with the Haworthia on it. So I'm just going to keep picking up some of these Live Trends Design Halloween theme planters. Live Trends Design has also done the hydroponic or growing plants in just straight water, which I think is cool. Now Proven Winners Leaf Joy really leads that way in terms of just having many plants available. And then we're going to go ahead and just continue to round out this big box store plant shopping video by looking at a couple more plants here. Really love the look of Epiprimnum pinnatum, Cebu Blue Pothos. I took a lot of cuttings and I'm propagating them currently in water. I'm trying to be like my grandmother, and let me go ahead and highlight this. So earlier in the video, I found another one of these planters, $24.98. This is an Alocasia Silver Dragon, but if you look at the planter, it reminds me of a Live Trends Design planter. It does have a heavier cement weight on it, but I love that it looks modern as well. And that plant, that Alocasia, is absolutely stunning. And then I want to go back to this, and I was really debating on whether I should buy this Aglaonema Snow Dream just because it is on sale for $14.98. I would have a higher probability of buying that today as an impulse buy, but I am actually trying to be good. With me going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City this coming Friday, I am already knowing that I'm going to be spending an arm and a leg and a foot, a toe, a nose, an ear, just because it's going to be really tough for me to not buy plants. I've already pre-ordered a lot of my plants, mostly Aglaonema, so stay tuned for that plant haul. But if you are somebody that does want to help out a YouTube content creator, there is an option on giving a super sticker, which is a monetary tip that you can set to give to any content creator. If you are willing to do that or wanting to do that, you can just press the $ with the amount. I will say super stickers do help with the sustainability of this YouTube channel. It does help fund some of my gas money, some of the time I invest in making this content. So for anybody that does leave a super sticker, thank you in advance. And also for those that have given me super stickers in the past, you already know I absolutely appreciate it and have put that money to good use. And that's really to just reinvest into this channel. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, beautiful plants. If I could just do this professionally every day and just talk about plants, film plants, I would definitely do it. I do think that it is so good for my mental health to just be able to walk around and feature beautiful plants like this. So as far as all of your plant shopping, I do ask all of our plant foldies, let me know what plants you've recently bought, what Costa Farms plants you bought in the past or are planning to do so in the future, and what did you think about today's video? Leave that all in the comment section below. And just know that I've posted a couple of new membership only videos, so if you haven't already, please consider joining my YouTube membership tier. If you're watching this on a computer, all you have to do is hit join. But if you are not, you can just press the join button in the comments section of this video. I will have a pinned link for it. As always, my name is Richie at Growfold. I appreciate you watching. Definitely see you on the next one. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today will be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot in West Plano, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video right now to help push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as give me a follow on Instagram at Growfolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the plants. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. So hopefully you guys will enjoy today's episode. We are going to this Home Depot, which is actually known in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as being one of the best Home Depots to house both outdoor gardening plants as well as indoor tropical plants, specifically Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants. So I did want to touch base on that. But before we get into the indoor tropical plants by Proven Winners Leaf Joy, I am going to go touch base on some of these beautiful outdoor garden plants. So hopefully you guys will not swipe away. You'll continue to watch this video because this one is jam-packed with so many amazing Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants. You don't want to miss that. But this right here, $54. and 98 cents. So this is a variegated pink Eureka lemon tree. So story time. I used to have one of these. I ended up buying a smaller variety of this one at Lowe. So you can tell that I go to all of these big box stores. But for $54.98, this is another prime example of a want or a need. This one is definitely a want because I would love to have a variegated lemon tree. I just love the fact that it does have variegated leaves, and on top of just the variegated leaves, it does have very fragrant blooms. It has a beautiful pink flesh for the actual fruit that it produces, and the fact that it is a lemon tree, it does need to be in full sun. So to find a variegated plant that is not going to burn in full sun is pretty amazing. I am a little bit disappointed in the fact that I neglected my variegated Eureka pink lemon tree. I actually have had it growing for about 2.5 to 3 years. I just didn't stay on top of the watering when I put it outside, but it is a beautiful tree. I do love the variegation, and I'm just curious if anybody else grows citrus and lemon type trees. I currently have 2 Calmodian trees, or what you call calamansi in the Philippines, which is where my family is originally from. We call that the calamansi, or what you call the Philippine lime. I have 2 of them that I was able to acquire at a big box store, but for $54.98, this is a pretty awesome buy. I did have to basically restrain myself from buying this plant because as much as I love it, as much as the price is a really good price for a pretty large specimen, I just know that I already have too many plants growing even in my outdoor space. A lot of my indoor tropical plants are already growing there, and you have to think, right? As much as we love these plants, what do we do when we're growing plants outdoors during the winter? Do we try to overwinterize them? And that becomes a dilemma for many of us plant lovers. So for now, we're just going to look at the beautiful variegation, and I'm just going to continue to walk toward the outdoor garden section for Home Depot, and I'll show you some more outdoor plants. And I'm pretty sure, as you've noticed right off the bat, this particular Home Depot is jam-packed with a lot of beautiful outdoor garden plants. So I will just spend just a little bit of time, not too much time in this section. Again, I hope you guys will stay engaged and continue to watch these videos, especially the outdoor garden section. We're looking at caladiums right here. And again, caladiums are plants that I have really debated on whether I wanted to try to grow them this year. I have decided that I will grow caladiums next year and potentially try to grow them indoors. Coleus plants. So these ones are beautiful dark foliage plant. This one right here, I believe is like for $4. Let's take a look at this. Actually $5.98. So this is sun to shade. So this one is a more versatile Coleus plant. We're gonna see what people think of Coleus plants. I have been talking about a lot of Coleus plants throughout my big box store plant shopping videos, and I really want to talk about these plants that I'm very passionate about. You know, I've been given feedback that people want to see more of the trending plants, but to me, especially somebody that is creating content for social media, specifically YouTube, I want to utilize my platform to give the message of what plants I am passionate about, because I feel like if you just make content to please everybody to follow a trend, I just feel like it's not as authentic, number one, and as genuine, and then also the joy in creating the content may not necessarily be there. It becomes more of a job versus, say, a fun hobby. So for me, I like to talk about plants that may not necessarily be under everybody's radar, but it's still plants that I absolutely love to grow. Hence, I love talking about coleus plants. And then over here, plant foldies, $9.98. So we're just going to keep looking at these beautiful caladiums. So this one right here has a beautiful red heart-shaped leaf on it, as well as a green border and the veining. And then sometimes when you just really slow down and look at the intricacies of a beautiful plant like a caladium, you will see all of the details of the leaves, which just makes it even more stunning. Caladiums, I would say, would be a little bit more of a challenge to grow indoors, but even when I look at proven winners, heart-to-heart caladium hybrids, it does say that it is adaptable to becoming an indoor house plant. So for now, I am gonna refrain from growing caladiums, and I think what makes caladiums a little bit more challenging to grow indoors is keeping them actively growing, because caladiums will go dormant when weather gets a little bit colder, when there's not a lot of sun, when the days are a little bit shorter because of the sunlight. And so for me, being able to grow a caladium indoors, you would definitely need to provide quite a bit of light, and it needs to be in a warmer area of the house. Otherwise, it's going to trigger its natural senses of actually going into dormancy and going back into a bulb. Now, as far as caladiums, again, I've noticed that a lot of plant foldies have been growing them. Shout out to Eric out in Minnesota, who actually has a beautiful proven winners heart-to-heart caladium burning heart. And when he posted it on Instagram, it was just stunning. This is the actual caladium right here. Notice how the sun is hitting this caladium. Typically, caladiums need to be in a shaded area, but the proven winner heart-to-heart hybrids, these caladiums actually can take a little bit more sun. They're a little bit more drought tolerant, and they are adaptable as a houseplant. But this is that burning heart caladium that I was talking about. And for those that are on social media, such as Instagram, I would really love for y'all to send me a direct message. I would love to just interact with you guys. And if you don't have an Instagram, because I know that we may have a more mature crowd, see if somebody can help you set up your profile, because that is where I really post a lot of my daily activities throughout the day versus just YouTube. So I just wanted to put that out there, and some exciting news I'm going to talk through as I show you some of these beautiful outdoor garden plants. I will be going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City, August 30th, August 31st. I will only be there for Saturday because I have to fly back to Dallas on that Sunday early in the morning. But I really wanted to go connect with a lot of the plant foldies out in the Northeast areas. So if you are planning to travel, please send me a direct message. I would love to meet up with y'all. It would be fun. I definitely will do a face reveal, because whenever I go to PlantCon, I don't really wear my little funny panda mask that I use for Cultivation Corner. And speaking of Cultivation Corner, it is still underway in terms of season 3. We have not been canceled. Some people were asking if we just stopped doing the podcast. Our schedules, both myself, Janae Simone, and Stephen of I Live Plants, my co-host on Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast, our life have just not really been aligned in terms of our scheduling. So we just decided to postpone it a little bit. We will be going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City. So we'll have a little bit of time to kind of plan and maybe even do a little bit of content to tide all of our cultivators over until we can actually have season 3. Anyways, let's go back to the plants right here. Hardy hibiscus. This one is another beautiful hibiscus. So if you'll notice, hibiscus are typically tropical plants that obviously in my grow zone, which is 8B, wouldn't necessarily be able to grow long-term outdoors because we do get harsh winters, cold winters, icy winters, snowy winters. And so that would just definitely kill the tropical plant. Hardy hibiscus, however, are actually perennials, which means that this plant, depending on your grow zone, and in my grow zone, it would be a perennial. It will actually die back in the winter, but will come back in the late spring, early summer. So as far as the hardy hibiscus, this one would be one I would actually want to grow. Hardy hibiscus would need to be in full sun, however, just because it is a hibiscus plant. And as far as the foliage, you'll notice that it's got some beautiful dark maroon burgundy type foliage. It reminds me of like red wine, and it's just a beautiful plant. Perennials are the way to go, especially if you are growing plants outdoors. I think perennials not only take the hassle of having to replant annual plants year after year, it also will save you money long term, because I feel like, or I've seen perennial plants, once you plant them in the ground, once they are established, they are pretty much a permanent plant unless you do many things to try to get them out of your property. So the perennial plants are the way to go. Hardy hibiscus are the way to go if you're looking for a tropical looking flower but can still tolerate grow zones that get cold winters. And then you can see right here we've got some boxwood. So the boxwood right here is the better boxwood is actually one that I have read is a little bit more compact growing. It's a really good shrub that most houses or landscapes will utilize. Now I'm just going to walk around here and show you a bunch of different types of cactus and succulents. And the thing about cactus and succulents, especially at Home Depot, they are sourced out by the Smart Plants. So that one is for $9.98. I will say Home Depot probably has the better selection of succulents and cactus, just because they also have what they call the Altman Reserve Rare Cactus and Succulent Collection. So you'll see some of that. If I run into it, I will definitely film that. But in terms of just the succulents and cactus, again, succulents and cactus will always need bright light. There are a few varieties that are a little bit more low light tolerant, but for the most part, succulents and cactus need to be in bright light. I haven't necessarily been able to figure out how to grow cactus and succulents long term. I have two that have been growing outdoors, but I just feel like the summer heat has really gotten into it and in the watering. So for those that are a little bit more in tune with succulents and cactus, please let me know in the comment section what your plant tips are in terms of the care. But as far as Smart Plants, this is actually a beautiful euphorbia right over here, and just the plant pricing in general is a really good one. So let's just continue to walk around and I'll show you the succulents and cactus, and then we are going to go into the indoor greenhouse tropical section of this Home Depot. Again, you don't want to miss what's in stored, because if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you are taking a trip to Dallas, this is one Home Depot I would highly, highly recommend going, because it would be worth your while. It is right next to Costco. It is off of the Dallas North Tollway. So definitely check it out. I've seen a couple of local plant foldies go to some of these amazing big box stores. And so for me, if you end up going, let me know what plants you end up buying, because there is a massive 50% off sale for Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants, or at least that is the rumor I heard. And therefore I want to see if that rumor is actually true and whether I will end up buying plants, because I've been really good about not buying too many plants as I've become more consistent, y'all. I have been more consistent this week about having a brand new video of big box store plant shopping. Here we have a Hydra Helix. Just kidding. This isn't a Hedera Helix or English Ivy. This is called a wax ivy. This is for $12.98. Doesn't it look like an English Ivy? What an interesting plant, because it has the shape and look of an English Ivy, but it is actually a succulent plant. It belongs to the Senecio genus of plants. So you can see right here, beautiful variegation. If you didn't touch the leaves, leaves, it would feel like it was, you would think that it was actually an English ivy, but it has a waxy texture. It's an interesting plant. And the problem with this plant is I've tried to grow it. It is very much spider mite prone, just like a Hedera helix. And when I try to give it a lot of light, it ends up burning, and it's just a very challenging plant for me to grow. So I will just look at it just like all of the other challenging plants while I am shopping. Same thing with this Peperomia serpens. What a beautiful plant. It has, it behaves more like a succulent plant. This one is for $12.98. Beautiful plant nonetheless, and it does have that variegation. I would just say you need to make sure it's got fast draining soil. You need to make sure that you don't keep it too dry for too long for this particular Peperomia. Bright indirect light is what I would recommend. And plant foldies, what do you think about the beautiful plants I am featuring today, at least in the outdoor section? You can see right here, Siam tulips. What an interesting plant. So it is a perennial. I don't know if it would be a perennial for my grow zone. I would do my research on that, but I am just really happy to be out and about filming these beautiful plants at this Home Depot. You know, I haven't been to this Home Depot for a little bit. I would say I need to frequent this one more, because every time I go to this Home Depot, I'm able to film a longer format content because there's so many plants to look at. You can see right here, coral bells, $8.98. And I'm going to be off topic for a minute just because I know there's a few plant foldies that are really concerned about my grandmother, my Lola Belen. She is my 90-year-old grandma that I've featured multiple times on this YouTube channel. She is a source of my inspiration in terms of why I even got into plants to begin with. This past Monday, she actually had a little accident where she slipped and fell around 2 a.m. While she was on her way to the restroom and fractured her hip. She ended up getting emergency surgery that day or that evening or morning. And, you know, as far as just the concern, I just am really heartbroken at the fact that, you know, at 90 years old, you know, falls like that can be a little bit critical. I just hope long term that she will still be able to regain her strength, because for a 90-year-old, she is of sound mind and body in terms of the physicality. She didn't even need to walk around without a cane. She has good hearing. She's very conscious about just the people around her. She's very sharp. And so it was really really heartbreaking for me to get an update and a call from my mom and dad, just keeping us updated about the surgery. What's interesting is the surgery definitely was a success. She got out of the emergency room and the recovery room, and she woke up from anesthesia, and they definitely put me on FaceTime with her, and I asked her if she knew who I was. So she was very much alert. She knew where whoever anybody was around her. And the concern is sometimes when you go through a major, not even a major surgery, any surgery at that stage of life, as well as anesthesia, there could be some complications. So I am so thankful to all of the prayers, to all of the positive thoughts, to anybody that has expressed any concern for my grandmother. I really appreciate it, and will extend that to her. I will show her your comments in the comment section, as well as the YouTube post I did, because I do plan on visiting her this Saturday when I am off this weekend. So just a little life update. I know it's a little bit of a downer, but as far as what I say in terms of when we live life, you never know what tomorrow will bring. Tomorrow is definitely a blessing. Now is the time to just live life, because it's never guaranteed in terms of tomorrow. So my message for all of the plant foldies this today is, remember to live in the moment. Remember to say you love somebody or to show that care, because you never know what could happen. And then always exude kindness and positivity. And you guys, plant foldies, have shown so much kindness to me. And I am humbled at the fact that even if we haven't met each other in person, even if you haven't met my grandmother, even if she hasn't physically done something to benefit y'all, the fact that you guys have given so much love and care and support after I let the plant foldie community know, and it just goes to show that we have an amazing community, and I am humbled to be part of this community. So let me get off of my soapbox. I am a little bit emotional as I speak there, but if you've been following my YouTube channel, know that I do film plants. I will pick up, say, this Hoya carnosa, beautiful plant by Vigoro Plants, but my content has kind of evolved from just picking up plants, telling you about the care tips, letting you know what the plant ID is, my recommendations, to more of a personal lifestyle blog as well. Even if I am faceless on YouTube, I just feel like you guys have gotten to know me, and I just appreciate those that are actually engaged, those that have not unsubscribed to my channel, and those that continue to just go into the live premiere chats and interact with each other. It just makes this social media platform a little bit more impactful for me personally, and I'm able to chat and tell you guys what's going on with my personal life. I have been told that, for instance, people who do faceless YouTube aren't as successful because there's not a face to tack with the brand. I totally get it, but based on just the engagement and even the concern and care that y'all had for my grandmother, I truly believe that I still have very loyal, very kind people surrounding me on a digital space. But anyways, let me get off of that little soapbox again. I just had a very tough week this week. I've tried to keep things going. I've tried to keep things positive. And I think a lot of just your viewership, your positive comments, and just engaging with me has really helped push me through this week. I will be celebrating my birthday next Thursday, August 7th. I will be 43, and my birthday wish is definitely for my grandmother to have a speedy recovery and regain the strength she has before she fractured her hip. Now, if you don't notice right here, plant foldies, we've got a bunch of these beautiful Hoya carnosa. Some of them have higher levels of variegation. These ones are for $19.98. Beautiful plant. I love that these Vigoro hanging baskets are readily available. And when you look at this particular Home Depot, the plants are healthy. They don't have a lot of damage or anything. They're super full. And so it goes to show that not every big box store is created equal. And so when you find a big box store as amazing as this Home Depot in West Plano, Texas, I don't mind taking the pilgrimage and journey to go plant shopping here, because I already know that I'm guaranteed, and I say this not lightly, I'm guaranteed to find an amazing plant to take home. I mean, you can take a look at this Hoya carnosa right here. Look at how beautiful that variegation is. And Hoyas, they're very forgiving giving plants. I have a few. I may eventually get into Hoyas. The Hoya bug hasn't bitten me quite yet. I'm still addicted to Aglaonema, and I feel like I will be forever addicted to Aglaonema, but that is okay because I've been finding ways to wean away from the urge to just purchase plants like Aglaonema when I have more than 100 varieties already. So that's another topic I will delve into, but for now, I'm just gonna walk around and pick up these hanging baskets of Bigoro plants. Again, these are for $19.98. Foldies, you'll notice that they even have large foliage plants like those cat palms. And we also have some Miracle Grow all-purpose fertilizer, $32.97. I would actually buy that big box of Miracle Grow all-purpose fertilizer. I utilize that on my plants. And then we've got some Espoma, I think that's how you, Espoma organic fertilizers. I see a lot of content creators actually making content about that organic line. I haven't necessarily used it, but I might do that maybe next year for my outdoor garden. And then we also have some more plant products right here. So aside from the beautiful plants that you can find at this Home Depot, you will also see many fertilizers, plant products, soil amendment. This one I've been eyeing for a while. I need to go ahead and just buy this Miracle Grow garden feeder because I would love to be able to fertilize a lot of my Aglaonema that have been growing outdoors. So if you've just discovered my YouTube big box or plant shopping video channel, know that I have taken a lot of my indoor tropical plants, even my hanging baskets of golden pothos, for instance, and they are all growing outdoors in a shaded area, and their growth is just exploded. It's just so much easier to grow plants outdoors. That is something I definitely revisited with my grandmother, because whenever I look at how lush and full her plants are, she literally has them growing outdoors in a shaded area. And that's really how Filipinos in the Philippines grow their plants. It's really more of an outdoor type deal. The concept of houseplants, again, as I mentioned, is a lot different. I would say in a lot of Southeast Asian countries on that side of the world, plants aren't really grown indoors. It's really more of an outdoor type garden thing. Whereas in the United States, for instance, we take these plants like this Epipremnum aureum or this Marble Queen Pothos, for instance, and put them in a hanging basket, and we use them more as like a house decor. I do recommend Pothos plants. I mean, this is a beautiful variety right here. $19.98. This one doesn't have nearly as much variegation, but as far as Pothos plants, every video, just know every video I'm going to repeat myself because I've already been told that I'm a very repetitive person, and that is okay. I will say get yourself a Pothos plant. If you don't have a Pothos plant, definitely consider it. I know that some of you guys might be a little bit more into the rare or uncommon plants, but I feel like with plants that are easy care, they will definitely bring you more joy than stress. You can see right here, we've got a beautiful white bird of paradise, and I'm just gonna keep walking around and featuring some of the large foliage plants and get into the Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants. Can you believe that this large Ficus lyrata tree is only $29.98? That is insane. That is so beautiful. I wish I had the space in my home. I wish I had like large ceilings, tall ceilings to be able to grow something like that. And you'll see right here, we've got majesty palms and just really large size plants. Unfortunately, none of these plants would be able to go into my collection in terms of my indoor space because it would just take up too much space in my home and it would just make my space feel a little bit smaller. That's the problem when you're getting large foliage plants. But look at that, $29.98. That is the Home Depot Garden Club special. And we have some more alocasia, philodendron, and monstera right here. Track that is currently playing is called Charlotte. It is named after my beautiful baby barred rock hen, Charlotte. So just some little tidbits about some of the new music that I've featured. But now we are going to be looking at all of these Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants. So Proven Winner, Proven Winners plants, Proven Winners Leaf Joy series. Look at this. They have the terrarium series. This is called Proven Winner Leaf Joy Terraform Terrarium. And look at that, $79.98. And you have an instant terrarium with terrarium type plants. So we've got a Photonia, we've got a Calathea. This is exciting. I love the fact that Proven Winners Leaf Joy, in terms of just pushing the envelope, not only do they delve into growing plants in a hydroponic setting, such as the Proven Winners Leaf Joy H2O bowl, now they have brought in terraform, or what you call terrariums. You know, oftentimes terrariums are just DIY, but now you can go to a big box store like Home Depot and find yourself a beautiful terrarium. They do vary in prices, but let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think about Proven Winners plants, whether it's Proven Winners garden plants or the Proven Winners Leaf Joy series, where they have really delved into the houseplant business, the indoor tropical plants. This one is for $19.98, so you have a smaller terrariums. Like, I actually wouldn't mind adding a little terrarium into my space. I have recently bought some more Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants, and you can see they even have hanging baskets like this. So this is a Hoya Ragsan. This is another uncommon Hoya. I love the speckling on this Hoya, and this one I believe is for $19.98. So in terms of Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants, I would say they are on another league in terms of Proven Winner plants. You know, these are plants that, you know, maybe Urban Jungle, Live Trends Design plants, and Costa Farms may not necessarily feature. Like for instance, they've got a variegated marantha right here. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, it is in a hanging basket form. This one again is for $19.98. I would love to acquire this, but unfortunately this plant is a little bit more challenging to grow. So for me, I have just really gone into just plant window shopping. So I could admire certain plants as much as I want to add them into my plant collection. I just know that long term in my care and in my environmental space for my home, they're just not going to thrive, or it's going to require a little bit more effort for me to actually grow them. So I'll hold off from that. Same thing with this living hurricane fern. Look at how beautiful that is. It is another type of bird's nest fern. And we've got even more proven winners plants to take a look at. So I did see a sign there, like this one right here is for $19.98. This one is a Ficus elastica ghostwriter. It's really Shivriana. What's interesting about proven winners plants, proven winners leaf joy plants, is that they have different names for them. But this is a Ficus Shivriana, although I like the name ghostwriter. $19.98. But at this Home Depot, as of now, it is 50% off. So it's only $9. I think it's like $9 or $9.98, somewhere around that range. And so if I really didn't have a Ficus Shivriana, I would totally buy this. I mean, look at how bright, look at how light it is. It is such a beautiful plant. And you know, Proven Winners, what I can highlight about Proven Winners is number one, Proven Winners Leaf Joy series has a extensive set of Hoyas, which we will be seeing. And then number two, Proven Winners has actually elevated and done different ways of growing plants. So they are the first, at least in my opinion, or what I've seen, the first nursery to delve into growing plants in straight water or hydroponic settings. Now they've actually put in place terrariums. They were the first nursery at a big box store to provide Anthurium dock block Michelle's, for instance. So there's a lot of exciting things happening with Proven Winners Leaf Joy. I would recommend anybody that is following social media, especially Instagram, to follow Leaf Joy Proven Winners Instagram. Let them know you're a plant foldie. Leave some positive comments. You know, it is all about giving people that validation that they're doing amazing in the form of a positive comment. I could definitely use some of that right now, especially with just the way things have happened, you know, the things that are going on with my grandmother and just how busy my life has been in terms of work. I am going to celebrate a win in the fact that I have been able to produce videos, and I feel like I produce pretty good quality big box or plant shopping videos consistently for this past week. So I want to celebrate that for myself, and hopefully this trend will continue to happen. Anyways, I'm going to keep just picking up some plants here. This is the Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section what you think. I would definitely love to hear from our plant foldies, and you'll just see, I mean, this is just such a full and beautiful Home Depot. This is the Proven Winners Leaf Joy Littles. So these are the Hoyas and different assorted plants. So normally they're for $5.98, but right now they are on sale for only $2.98. $2.98 plant foldies. Where do you find beautiful Hoyas like the Hoya Matilde, which is an uncommon Hoya, for $2.98? Literally 50% off all of these little Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants. And that's why I love it. I love going big box store plant shopping, because when you get lucky and you find a big box store that puts their plants on sale, on clearance, or there is a special deal, you will always find value, big, budget friendly. I'm just trying to say that, like budget friendly plants for your money. It's, in this day and age, we are looking for the best plant pricing, and just looking at all of these different types of Hoyas. I'm going to flash some of the names on the screen, like this Hoya Sea Stones, for instance. Look at that green on green variegation. Plant foldies, $2.98. Now you already know that is such a good price. I'd like to know your insights, and I'm just going to keep picking up these plants. Know that all of these Proven Winner plants are super healthy. I love the fact that they have so many Hoyas. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to start a Proven Winners Leaf Joy Littles collection, run, don't walk. To this Home Depot. You need to go to this Home Depot and spend all your hard-earned money on these plants, because they are 50% off. Houseplants for 50% off at Home Depot. You already know you're going to have an amazing plant haul. I mean, take a look at this right here. Another freckled splash Hoya carnosa, $2.98, originally $5.98. And I believe if you also have the Home Depot app, so I've talked about ways to save money while shopping at a big box store. Join loyalty programs, find digital coupons, try to price match. Those are ways that you can also save money, and obviously just compare and contrast pricing from one big box store to another. Now, I would say Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants are often found only at Home Depot. I have yet to really see them at Lowe's, maybe Walmart. But as far as Proven Winners Leaf Joy, you can't beat that. And I just love that they have terrariums. They've got hydroponic substrates, just straight water. The H2O Leaf Joy series, H2O Leaf Bowl is what I'm trying to say. And we just have many different varieties. Like right here is what I'm talking about, the H2O Leaf Joy series. This one is just plants that are growing in straight water. So we've got a Syngonium right here. These are only also on sale, 50% off. Normally $19.98, but it is 50% off, and I'm just loving it. Hopefully some of our local plant foldies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area will come visit this store. Uh-oh, do you see what I see? I know you see it, plant foldies. Look at this new variety of Aglaonema growing it into an H2O bowl. So when I was here last, if you remember my big box or plant shopping video, I ended up finding an Aglaonema in an H2O bowl. So basically the Aglaonema is growing in straight water. It is still doing amazing. It was some type of green, narrow leaf shape Aglaonema, but take a look at this. This Aglaonema is beautiful in the fact that it has white, it has green, it has pastel green, minty green, and white stems. And this bowl right here is for $29.98. I think it is also 50% off, because if it is, you already know, plant foldies, that I will be buying a Aglaonema today. That is like a need. That is a need today. So just know that that is an example of a plant addiction. Like, do I really need to buy that Aglaonema? Probably not, but I don't know. I just feel the urge and need to buy it. So we'll see if there's other varieties, or at least different types of that same Aglaonema. I'm going to choose one that might have more foliage or a little bit more full, but that one was still a pretty healthy looking Aglaonema. And so that actually brought a huge smile to my face when I actually found it while filming. But you'll see that Proven Winners Leaf Joy terrariums, H2O bowls where they're growing plants in straight water. I mean, you can see the inside of this terrarium. Really a trendsetter for the indoor tropical houseplant business. You know, I always give feedback to all of the big box store nurseries, or the nurseries that provide big box stores. And I always say, if you follow a trend, that trend is eventually not going to be a trend. You need to be the trendsetter. And, you know, maybe I'm a little bit partial, but I always say, I know everybody's into, say, anthuriums, or maybe those variegated monsteras, or those variegated monstera Thai constellation mutations, variegated philodendrons, certain types of Hoyas. Those are trends. Oh, wait, variegated alocasias, for instance. But, you know, when you think about what we're seeing today from Proven Winners Leaf Joy, the fact that they're really pioneering a different look, like the H2O bowls we've seen, but for instance, the terrariums, that's creating their own trend. And speaking of creating their own trend, they're also featuring Aglaonema, different varieties. I have never seen this particular Aglaonema being sold at any big box store, or even a local small business or nursery. So for sure, I'm going to buy this Aglaonema. And the thing about Aglaonema is I've discovered that Aglaonemas that are green varieties are so much easier to take care of than the colorful Aglaonemas that we will see, whether I get them from overseas in Indonesia. But let me know in the comment section which Aglaonema you would buy. Would you buy this one? Would you buy the one on the left? Would you buy the one that I originally picked? This one on the left actually has a little bit of a bloom, so you already know that it's living its best life, because if it's able to take that energy and produce a bloom, then it's getting the right environmental conditions. But oh my gosh, that brought me so much joy just to be able to find these Aglaonema. Syngonium pink variety is super root bound, but yeah, this is only for $2.98 since it is 50% off. We're going to keep looking at some of these Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants, whether it's the Proven Winners Littles, the terrariums, the H2O bowls. You can see they've got their own little Photonia varieties as well. $2.98. Plant foldies. What do you think about this massive Home Depot houseplant sale? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you would buy so many of these plants because they are on sale. I am actually doing very good. The only plant I already know I'm going to just buy today would be that Aglaonema in the H2O bowl that's just growing in straight water. I would be tempted to buy all of those Hoya Houseplants, for instance, because it is a really good price, $2.98. I could get like 6 varieties, but do I really want to add 6 more plants in my plant collection? That would just be 6 more plants that would require me to take care of them, whether it's the watering, the pest preventative, the fertilizing, the amount of time to just even admire them. So as much as I love plants, I have really weaned away and tried to curate my plant collection to where it's okay to just have less plants, but be able to give them the better care and to be able to enjoy them. Then you can see right here, this is another type of H2O bowl. These are the smaller ones, so it's more like propagations. I like that a lot, the Shenandoah series. So whatever that series is, Proven Winners Leaf Joy, again, it's that originality, that creativity, bringing something unique. I have to commend Proven Winners Leaf Joy, and I hope that Proven Winners continues to push the envelope when it comes to indoor tropical plants, because it just makes things exciting. You know, I always say diversity is what makes life interesting, whether it's diversifying where you buy your plants. Again, don't ever let anybody make you feel bad or say that you're taking away from small businesses or putting small businesses at risk by going big box store plant shopping. That is not the case, especially if you are conscious and you know that you want to support local and small businesses. I always talk about local and small businesses like Peta's Planters, for instance. That is one of my favorite Dallas small businesses, small plant businesses in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Definitely check them out, or go shop at classyrabbit.com for some Classy Rabbit soil. Some of the best soil substrate I've ever seen, but that doesn't mean that I'm also not excited to find amazing, budget-friendly, inexpensive plants, houseplants at Home Depot. And that's the reason why I feel like, you know, diversifying where you buy your plants, it makes it exciting. And then also just know that some people, and I've said this in almost all my videos, you may not necessarily have access to amazing small businesses. You may not always feel comfortable buying plants from online because of the shipping and the potential damage that your plants can get. And the only other option is a Home Depot, a Walmart, a Lowe's, a Target, and that is okay. And you know, for those that ask me if I prefer one big box store or not, and I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but you can still either mute me from talking or just admire the plants, whatever you want to do. But I did feel like, you know, certain people have opinions about what big box store they want to shop. For me, somebody had asked me my opinion. I always say, if a big box store, whatever big box store it is, right, can offer me inexpensive inexpensive pricing, amazing service, high quality products, it doesn't matter which big box store it's going to be. I'm going to spend my money, because as a consumer, that's really what I expect from any business, is great service, inexpensive or value pricing, and then also just high quality products. So that's really it. And the service portion, I think, is what will really draw me in whenever I am shopping at a big box store, and definitely the value and pricing. Also the merchandising. I don't want to go somewhere where everything is cluttered, everything is like not organized. It doesn't really compel me to spend my money. But anyways, I had to just go in the indoor section and just take a look at that. But I did show you some of those blooming anthuriums. We're going to continue to look at some more Nature's Way plants, Vigoro plants. This is a little bit longer of a video because they just have so much selection. So the fact that these plants are half off, I am just loving it. I just can't believe it. And it's just really exciting to see that we have 50% off of Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants. And another thing I wanted to highlight about Proven Winners Leaf Joy is the fact that they have so many varieties of different types of alocasia, philodendrons, Hoyas, ficus plants, plants that other nurseries that provide at big box stores may not necessarily release and have for the masses. So this is a reason why I will go to Home Depot, especially a Home Depot like this. I mean, look at how I pan away. It is super full. Please press the thumbs up or like button for this video if you made it this far and you haven't, or at least press the like button for this video if it's not for me, but for the fact that this is such an awesome and super full Home Depot location. Definitely recommend it, and I would definitely just explore and take a look at these plants. You know, you talk about different types of ficus. This is another type of ficus here. Care tips for ficus, again, bright light. I would honestly just grow them outdoors in full sun. That's what I'm doing, and they are living their best life. This is just absolutely stunning. And even just walking around, you know, picking up these plants, showing y'all these plants, there is a sense of relaxation that I get from, you know, showing a plant like this is Philodendron Bellitiae, for instance. You know, this is the reason why I like to go big box store plant shopping. This is the reason why I like to push myself and have a routine on filming. It's one way to help with my stresses, my anxieties, my OCD, whatever you want to call it. It's a way to recalibrate your mind and really focus on positive thinking and utilizing, you know, something like OCD. Like I've talked about it openly, where sometimes I'll fixate on a negative thought. I mean, the fact that I am a little bit worried, really worried actually, about my grandmother, but being able to surround myself in foliage, surround myself in plants, and to also share this experience with the plant foldies, that makes it all worthwhile. And I have to say that often as I can whenever I make these plant shopping videos, because it is you who is listening to me, who is watching me, who is supporting me, that makes my life, my daily routine on big box or plant shopping well worth it and just so satisfying. And again, plant foldies, as I pan away and show you how many plants there we have here, I just wish that someday I could take you guys literally in real life alongside with me and show you these plants in person, talk about these plants, talk about the fact that I love that philodendron black cardinal, for instance, or this philodendron green princess. And these right now are currently for only $9.98. That is such an amazing price for a houseplant. Home Depot, or at least this Home Depot, knows how to draw people in. And I hope that, you know, this video gets pushed out to more plant lovers. For anybody that loves Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants, for anybody that wants to see Proven Winners Leaf Joy house plants blow up and succeed, share this video. Press the thumbs up or like button for this video. Comment and leave in the comments section what you think about these plants. That definitely helps drive the engagement, because I really do think that at least this Home Depot is a great representation of the Proven Winners Leaf Joy brand. And aside from the fact that they have a massive selection of houseplants on sale right now for 50% off at this Home Depot, look at this beautiful palm right here. This is a lady palm. I actually got a variegated lady palm that I need to put in soil substrate very soon from my friend in Indonesia. His name is leafcrafter.id on Instagram. Follow him. Send him a direct message if you want to get some of those rare and uncommon aglaonemas for a very good price. And since he goes through a broker, you don't necessarily have to worry about having an import license. They do all the legwork for you. But when I think about these beautiful lady palms, for instance, I love that variegated variety that I got from him. And then you can see we've got some hanging baskets of spider plants. This one is for $12.98. Another easy to care for plant. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that this plant is actually pet friendly. And you know, with me growing my aglaonema outdoors, aglaonema are not pet friendly in terms of just the toxicity of their foliage. So I have to be very careful and very mindful when I allow my baby chickens, my barred rock hen and my Plymouth, my barred rock hen, for instance, and my Rhode Island red, in terms of just walking around and eating up some of the leaves. So you have to be careful about that. And let us talk about these gorgeous aglaonema Silver Bay. Look at this, $29.98. You already know Plant Foldies. If you don't have one, go to this Home Depot and buy it, because look at how massive this one is. goes to show, whenever you go big box store plant shopping and you find an amazing Home Depot like this, just know that you will find large foliage plants, different sizes of plants, but for such a good value, inexpensive house plants while shopping at big box stores. Like these are more plants, just an assortment of different types of Hoya carnosas. These are all in 6-inch planters, for instance, for $12.98. Look at that Hoya carnosa. It has a little bit of sun stressing because you've got some pinks. My favorite Pothos plant to grow, this is a neon Pothos. I love the neon colors. And again, with Pothos plants, any Pothos plant, know that the amount of light you provided actually impacts the coloration, the variegation of the plant. So more increased lights will probably push out even more variegation. That's really what it's reliant on. And then you can see right here, this is another smaller but beautiful Aglaonema Silver Bay. I ask this all the time, but if you are looking at that plant, why would you not buy that plant, and why would you not have Aglaonema in your plant collection? Again, plant foldies, let us hashtag popularize Aglaonema. Use that hashtag if you have Aglaonemas in your plant collection and you take photos, you take videos, you make reels, you make YouTube videos, you make comments on other people's social media. Use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema. Let's get that Aglaonema species trending. And you'll see that as I pick up more of these plants, a lot of these are just easy care plants. And for Sansevieria, for instance, super easy. Just make sure that you water when the soil is completely dry. And you can even put them in a lower light condition because they are drought tolerant and low light tolerant. Take a look at this beautiful bromeliad. I love the pink in the middle. It looks like somebody just spray painted it on. And you know, bromeliads for me are fascinating plants. I just have yet to add one into my plant collection, just because as many plants that I admire and I love, I am a lover of plants. You already know this, and I'm pretty sure the entire plant folding community that engages in my videos will also agree. But it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to, you know, buy every single plant or add every single plant. We can just walk around and just look at these plants and admire their foliage, for instance. As I pick up these plants and show y'all these plants, what do you think of the current musical track? That is called Twilight. Again, it is created by my good friend Jordan. Thank you so much for lending me original tracks specifically for my YouTube channel. Feel free to leave me some comments and feedback about the new music. I want to make sure we encourage him because his work is exquisite. So plant foldies, as I'm getting ready to wrap up this big box or plant shopping video, I hope you guys have actually seen quite a bit of beautiful plants. I'm just picking up plants by Proven Winners. You can see some of them have been growing long term. This one's kind of stuck to each other. These are only for $2.98. Again, Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants, 50% off at this Home Depot. You have to go to this Home Depot, spend all your money, go plant shopping, consume all the house plants that will bring you joy, because Proven Winners Leaf Joy definitely has it. I am going to treat myself and get myself an Aglaonema in a H2O bowl, but I mean, look at that. Massive plant selection at this Home Depot. And for those that are listening to this musical track, this one is called Sunset by my friend Jordan. Definitely leave some comments for him. And also, I did want to put this out there for those that don't know, if you do want to drop a super sticker, a super thanks, it is a monetary tip that you can give a YouTube content creator to show a form of thanks. I would definitely appreciate that if anybody is wanting to drop a monetary tip in a form of a super sticker or super thanks. You just have to press the $ on the lower left side screen of your browser, and also consider joining my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, for only $2.99. It definitely helps support the sustainability of this channel, my passive income, because I work super hard to try to get you this content. You will have access to membership only videos, more access to my personal life, a potential face reveal, and custom made emojis that feature Aglaonema and also my baby chickens, Charlotte and Catriona. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video by picking the Aglaonema that I want to bring home. So this is another candidate. This is candidate number 1. Look at the leaves, and what I'm looking for is, you know, lots of growth, new active growth points, pest free. So I'm looking at webbing, any type of like fuzzy stuff that could be mealy bugs, and all of these Proven Winner Leaf Joy plants right now are super healthy. I'm looking at very white, stable roots, especially if it is growing in a hydroponic situation. So we'll see what I end up with, but I'm just going to closely examine these plants, these Aglaonema. All right, plant foldies, I've made my selection of plants. What a fun and exciting big box store plant shopping episode today, featuring Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants at Home Depot on sale for 50% off. This is the Aglaonema I ended up choosing. Let me know in the comment section if I made the right decision. And I did end up getting this on sale as well, so I got a great deal. As always, consider joining my YouTube membership tier, and thank you to David, who continues to gift other plant foldies a YouTube membership tier. I really appreciate that. It has been a fun episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, my name is Richie at Growfold. Please subscribe with all the notification bell on, and take a look at the screen. Click on the videos that are popping up on the end screen right now, and let's binge watch these videos until my brand new video that is scheduled for tomorrow. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.